All right, welcome back to another edition of Cheap Digging Finds. This was previously just dollar bin digging finds, but I find a lot of books that are just, pretty cheap that I just kind of want to still show and show off and bring awareness to and show you guys what I'm picking up when I'm going out there hunting for comics. I mean, I'm finding $5 variants, cover price stuff, and I don't want to just limit it to just the dollar bin stuff because otherwise it'll be a pretty short show and not many books to show you these days because dollar bin digging is getting a little bit tougher because I can't grab everything. Especially been doing that article for almost 3 years now, so I've got plenty of books. I have plenty of books, so I got to be a little bit more discerning when I'm going out there hunting for the cheap books. That all being said, if you want to see the books that I picked up the last couple of weeks, it's been a few weeks since I've done one of these. Just hang on for a few seconds. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Continue to tell your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And hopefully you're enjoying the other content we have here on the channel. Got live shows on Sundays and on Wednesdays. The chats are lively. It's a lot of fun. You should come join us, have some fun talking pop culture, Star Wars, comic books, all that great stuff, toys, anything, whatever's on your mind. We just have a good time and enjoy, talking about this stuff. This is a community after all. Now, with that being said, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I'll be right back to show off the books that I've picked up the last couple of weeks. All right, so to start us off, we are going to start off with the dollar bin books because I do have a few dollar bin books, a few things that I picked out of those cheap boxes that I feel like we could talk about and kind of show you what's still out there. Some might be stuff I've talked about before or mentioned before in other articles or other videos, but hey, it's what I bought. It's what I found. First thing being this X-Men. This first appearance of Onslaught. What is this? 53? X-Men 53. Found this in a dollar bin. So I felt like I had to grab it. See, no bag, no board. So it's not the greatest of shape, but still for a buck. I remember when this heated up quite a bit. I don't know, a few months ago when there was all the speculation that that's how the Fantastic Four was coming and the X-Men and Onslaught. Hey, who knows? Maybe we do get Onslaught, but for a buck, I'm picking that one up. Just like I did find this Walmart Spider-Man. This is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You get the first movie versions here in this little Walmart exclusive book. I've talked about this on Dollar Bin Digging before, and there you go. Found it at Dollar Bin, and it's still out there. Up next, I got a couple of issues of Galactus the Devourer just because it's an odd series. I still got to find the rest of them to make sure I have the whole set, but I grabbed the last two issues because that's what was in the box. They didn't have all six. They just had issue number 5 and issue number 6. So just for the read and to try to build out this little set. This is also a pretty thick and heavy book. So there's plenty of pages in there. Those are things that I figured I'd grab, out of the cheap box. So for a buck, why not? Let's put those down for a second while I get a couple of more. I know I've mentioned these before, and these are getting harder and harder to come by in those dollar bin boxes. But if you go flipping and you go digging, sometimes you can still pull a few of these out because there's not really first appearances per se, but I'm still digging out the Obi-Wan journals because we're still probably going to get that when we get the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. We saw how much of that Black K book hopped up just because Black K showed up. If some of this stuff starts playing out, so Star Wars issue 7, as well as issue 15, are part and the starts of the Obi-Wan, the Kenobi journals, the Obi-Wan journals there. So I look for them. And, the Black K one is, what is that, 20? You look out for that, too. But these are the ones that I was able to find, as well as this random Acclaimed Comics Killer Instinct Special number 2. These weird, video game adaptation books are always things that I grab when I find them. And some of these get a little tough to find. I don't know if this one's super tough, but this is still like, 10 to 15 bucks if you find it. So for a buck, I'm grabbing this type of weird stuff. I think that was on the N64, the Killer Instinct game. It was like Nintendo's version of Mortal Kombat for the most part, but still pretty cool. And up next, things you can still find out there. These were actually $1.50, so I'm putting them in my dollar bin finds because they're $1.50. I'm going to kind of preface it and bridge us into the cheap comics section with these $1.50 barbed wires. These Adam Hughes covers. This was issue, what is this, number 2? Again, you know I'm a big Adam Hughes fan, so even if I have them, I'm still getting extras for $1.50. Issue 3 and issue 5, another Hughes cover. So like I said, yeah, issue 5. So for $1.50, it's pretty much a dollar comic, so that's why I'm putting it in the dollar comic section. But those Hughes books are going to bridge us over to the next segment, which are the cheap comics. So these are just pretty much a couple of bucks, maybe $5 or under. And that's kind of what we're looking at here. A lot of cover price stuff, maybe just a tad over cover, but still only a few dollars. So nothing expensive. Cheap comics is what we're looking at here. Like this Wonder Woman 139 for, what was that, 250. So I paid 250 for this. Cover price on it, as I said, was $1.99. So it's 50 cents over cover, but it's a pretty old book. Pretty cool. Again, Adam Hughes Wonder Woman's. I will go and grab them out of the box when I find them. I don't have all of the Hughes covers from the Wonder Woman run. Getting close, but I found most of these in the cheap boxes. So I always grab them when I see them, even if they're duplicates, because you get some decent ones like Bats and Superman here. This one was $250 as well for issue 140. So I got 139, 140. I think this goes part of a storyline with the 3 of them. And then I got 143, which was $1.50. I probably should have put it in the other pile. Again, another Hughes, and I think this is the first appearance as well in this book. But still, it's kind of weird stuff. I will go digging out of a box, and sometimes it'll be, pretty cheap. Pretty cheap. This one was only like 5. I think it was like 5. I might have actually got this one for $6. So, okay, maybe I'm stretching it a little bit. This is actually the only thing I bought online, but I got this in the mail just the other day. This is Scarlet Witch, number 7. This is the Story Thus Far variant. I know I've mentioned them before. These things aren't that easy to find. The Story Thus Far covers they're odd variants. They're not incentives. They were like qualifying orders, incentived sometimes, and maybe just not a lot were actually ordered. Can't get a definitive print run on these things, but they're not that easy to find. Some of them can get quite pricey. Some are very cheap, but some of the Story Thus Far are kind of pricey. But I did like this Scarlet Witch, so I wanted to add it to my Scarlet Witch, run there because I didn't have this one. So I picked it up for a few dollars. Let's pull this down so I can re-rack the stack. Don't want it to overfill. Got a few more cheap comics to go through here. This was the first appearance of Matt Smith's character, who we know he's going to be in Morbius. This is $3 for issue 76 for Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I'm trying to think of his name. Is it Crown? I think it's like Crown, I think is the character's name. But it's Matt Smith. It's like the villain for the Morbius movie is in this book. So that's why I grabbed this book for, what was it, $3? $3. So $3. Locious? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's like a weird name. I think it's Crown is the character's name. Here's one for $5. Yes, a whopping $5, but still sealed in the poly bag. Ghost Rider, Midnight Suns, issue 28. So I know it's still a lot of talk and a lot of hope for the Midnight Suns to show up somewhere, and you got Lilith and things like that appearing in this run. And this book has also gotten a little bit expensive, so for $5, I was fine to grab that one. And like I said, it's still in the poly bag inside the bag and board, so hopefully it's still in good shape. And if you followed my IG, I believe I posted that I found these couple of books, but I'm just going to show this one for now because I did put it on Dollar Bin Digging like a week or 2 weeks ago. But I didn't find it for $1, unfortunately. I found it for $4.50, so 50 cents over cover. Swordmaster number 12, but you saw it was on a Hot 10 list and on the CBSI Hot 10 list, and this book got a little expensive. It's like $40 now. It's the last issue of Swordmaster. I know everybody's looking at Swordmaster as possibly the next Iron Fist at this point. We don't know that for certain, but it's still a character that it's got a little bit of heat around him right now. But still, for like cover price, I'm still grabbing it. Even though I said look for it in Dollar Bin, I didn't find it in Dollar Bin. Found it a little over cover. And then my last cheap comic find, I was pretty stoked to find this one. Priced $5 in the box. It was in a stack. I was flipping through it. I saw the cover, and then I had to do it a double take, and I was like, wait, is that the right one? Because I haven't had this book in forever. I don't know what happened to my copy of it, but the Marvel Superheroes, this is the winter special. This is, the first Squirrel Girl is what this book is. It's in great shape, nice spine on this thing, and for $5, I was pretty happy to grab this because, like I said, I can't find my copy. I had a copy. I don't know what happened to it, and I've been looking for a cheap one ever since. Because again, that's something that's gotten a little pricey too. Because Squirrel Girl is a fun little character. She had a couple of series of her own at this point, but $5. I was pretty happy about that. I think I posted it on IG too. So if you saw that, sorry to duplicate, but I was pretty happy to find that. And this was just this week. I grabbed it, and I wasn't even going to go in that box either. I just said, I'll flip through it, see what's in here. I was like, there was a lot of annuals, Marvel annuals. Thought about getting the Citizen Kang books, but those don't have the heat that they had right when Loki ended. Those books were pretty pricey. Now they've kind of come back down. So for $5 for those, I wasn't in, but this Squirrel Girl, I was in for that. So for $5, absolutely. Now, continuing on this $5 topic, as I mentioned before, there's a shop by me that does have a box of variants that they charge $5 for. And they actually do occasionally give me variants I find out of the back issue boxes for $5 as well when I bring them up to the counter, because I buy a lot of books there. So they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice to me. So here are some variants. I don't think I've shown them here on the pickups. Again, if you've seen them, I might have posted them on IG because I sometimes post my pickups on IG, but I don't believe I've had these on any shows. The first is, I think it's a 1 in 25 Dave Johnson Multiple Man, number 1. $5. I'm grabbing 1 in 25s for $5, basically. Whenever, especially these odd off titles. And I like Multiple Man. I am a fan of Multiple Man. I've said it a number of times how I want to see X Factor Investigations as like a Disney Plus show or something like that. It was a great run and a great series. And this is a great character. So I'd like to see him done better than what they gave us before. But for 1 in 25 for $5, I was absolutely in. Now, this next one isn't an incentive. It's just a B cover. It actually was $5.50, but I'm just going to put it in the pile because it goes to the next one. This is just the B cover for Vault of Spiders number 1. And you can see Leopardon there in the back. Pretty cool. Hoping we get Leopardon in the Across the Spider-Verse movie or something very soon. Some spider, project. I want to see the giant mech, Leopardon. But Vault of Spiders number 1. Pretty cool. The B cover. It's not super easy to find, but you could find it. If you go looking, you go hunting, it's not super expensive, but with the way some of these books have been popping out of nowhere lately, you look at all the Spider-Punk books, I would just get, if you like it, I'd get it now. If you can get it for cheap, $5 or less, cover price, whatever, now's the time before things get out of reach, because they can get there pretty fast. Now here, you might see the price tag on this one says $15, because this is a 1 in 25 for a Vault of Spiders number 2. So this is the second part of this series, 2-issue series, and this is the 1 in 25 incentive, where the other one's only a B cover and didn't have an incentive. Issue 2, for whatever reason, had an incentive. And like I said, the shop had it marked 15, but when I brought it up, they rang me up for $5, saying, "Oh, we'll do a $5 variant for you." So again, happy to make relationships and be nice to your LCSs, and they may be nice to you. So 1 in 25 Vault of Spiders 2 for $5. Pretty happy to add that. Same thing with this, also marked $14.99 in the boxes, but I brought it up on a different day, a different time. This Unstoppable Wasp number 1. Pretty cool variant cover. 1 in 25 on this as well. Not easy to find. Could get a little pricey, but I just dig it. And like I said, I like these weird off Marvel titles and getting the incentives for cheap if I can. Because you never know. You never know. A couple of more here. I'm going to pull the rack down. I'll leave Wasp up so we have something on the rack, but I got to re-rack to make some space. It's got a couple of more books here from the $5 variant box, and then we'll be done with the pickups. I got one of those Thor Goes to the Movies incentives. These are 1 in 15s. There's a whole run of them. I was going to do that for a run for covers. I probably still will eventually once I get around to it, but this is the Captain America 617 cover. Silence of the Lambs, as you might be able to make out there with Thor. That's Clarice as a reflection with the, I guess, I don't know if that's Odin or if that's supposed to be Bor, his godfather, but still. Silence of the Lambs cover for the Thor Goes to Hollywood. I think it's Thor Goes to Hollywood, maybe not Thor Goes to the Movies. 1 in 15 variants that month. And there's like 20 covers or so, something like that. And yeah, it's a pretty cool one. So for $5, I figured I'd grab it. It doesn't do all that much. It's only like maybe $15 online if you want to go buy one. But still, for $5, I'm in. I'm in for incentive variants for $5. The next one, I think Martian Comic Hunter showed this on his IG a couple of, I don't know, last week, a few days ago, or at least a few days before I went and bought this, because when he showed it on IG and I looked at it, I was like, wait a second, I just saw that in my $5 variant box. Hopefully it's there the next time I go. And lucky for me, it still was. Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider #2. Pretty cool cover. I mean, you see the, the drive, the shifter handle there on fire as he's going through. Will we get him again as the Ghost Rider? I don't know, but it's still a cool cover and a cool variant for $5. I'm not gonna pass on that 1 in 25. So once again, cheap variants if you can find them. If you're lucky enough to find them, I get the ones that you like, because you never know. You never know. Some of these can get pricey, but who knows? Like even now, some of these are pricey, but still, getting them for $5 is a pretty good score. If I were to go flip them, sell them on Whatnot, like I moved a lot of books, maybe I will eventually. Who knows? But up next, I got a couple of more $5 variants for you out of the box. Got a 1 in 25 for Ant-Man #1. Pretty cool. All right, gotta dig this cover. Like I said, that's 1 in 25, $5. I said, well, I'm gonna get that one. I might as well get this #2, even though I don't like this cover as much with these kind of creatures, bugs, or whatever. But #2, again, 1 in 25 for $5. Not leaving it. I'm not leaving it. So I grabbed issue 2 as well. So I got 1, and then I got issue 2. And then lastly is one that I pulled out of the back issue boxes. And again, it's marked $14.99 because I think that's where they start the 1 in 25s when they come out. And if they don't sell, they got tucked in the back issue box and it's been sitting there for a few years. And that being this 1 in 25 for Kingpin #1. I dig it. It's got that Sin City, like a Dame to Kill For kind of vibe going there with the black and white and the red and the shades. I don't know if this is actually an homage to that or not, but it definitely, if you look at the face of Kingpin, it has that Sin City vibe to it. Absolutely. And 1 in 25 for $5. Again, I'm grabbing it. Pretty cool. Plus, I just finally gotten into watching Daredevil season 3 on Netflix. I never finished it, so I finally finished it. So seeing Kingpin again, he was fresh on the mind. So that's why I went digging in the Kingpin part of the box and lucked into this. So sometimes that's all it takes. Like this has been sitting there forever at that shop, and it's just there in a box. But you got to know where to look and where to look, because you might not be able to go through every long box, every book in the store. So you got to be able to pick and choose what you're going to go look for, and what you might go looking for is stuff that's just fresh in your mind. It doesn't have to be what's the hot book that week. Things you see on the hot 10 list. Sometimes while everybody else is looking for those, you should go looking for the things that interest you and things that might be forgotten about, because you might find a nice little treasure just hidden away in a box, and it's just been sitting there and just nobody else thought to go looking for it. So take the time, do a little bit of research, expand your Rolodex of books to know what you're looking for. And yeah, maybe you can get lucky too, because I feel like I got lucky with a bunch of these variants, but I know not everyone else is so fortunate, but it is what it is. Showing off the books that I picked up. These were my $5 variants. These are the books that I picked up the last few weeks when I go out to hunting at the shops. And there was one. I did one book that I bought online. I got other books online too, but I didn't want to do a whole pickup show. I was still trying to keep this as cheap stuff. So still, hopefully you enjoy that, and hopefully you're enjoying everything else here on the channel. I appreciate you all checking in and checking out the things that I'm spending my money on. These are the books that I've grabbed, and let me know what books you've been grabbing lately, because I love seeing everybody else's pickups too, because again, it sparks things in my mind. I wouldn't have known to go grab that or remembered to go grab that Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, because I did flip past it thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know. And when you're flipping, sometimes you're on autopilot and you pass by a book, but then see it on IG and go, you know what? I do kind of like that. Second look, go back, it's there, and it pays off. So I'm happy to tag me on all your posts. I love to see the stuff that you guys are picking up as well. And with that, I will see you guys soon with some more content.